My name is Rachel Johanningsmeier. I am an artist from Raleigh, North Carolina, and also a UNCW alumni. I recreate the female body in my work, telling visual stories of its strength, fluidity, and spirit. I participate in a number of activities that today inspire my figurative work, and it's focused on movement, energy, and expression. These elements are combined with psychological concepts to generate artwork that celebrates how remarkably human we are. I've been drawing all my life, just like for as long as I can remember. My sister and my mom are both creative, so I was sort of in like the right environment for that skill to be nurtured. So this collection is really comprises of the last 2 years of my work, and sort of marks where I started doing figurative work and started to really develop my my pieces conceptually. And being that it's figurative, someone told me once to stick to what you know, and I think that there is a big truth behind that, in that like the most powerful pieces that you can create are going to be the pieces that you're closest to. So that being said, I put a lot of myself into my work and use a lot of my own life stories and experiences to sort of inspire like the underlying meaning behind the different pieces. I think I am most inspired by dancers and gymnasts. They're so expressive and like have so much energy in their bodies, you know, and you can see it. And me and my sisters did gymnastics when I was growing up. My mom actually coached until she was pregnant with my little sister. And so I grew up in sort of that community of people, and they sort of represent like this focus and disciplining of your mind to push the boundaries of your body to me. And I think that that's like amazing, and it's very empowering, especially for women. Like, 'cause at my gym at least, like, a lot of gymnasts are women and a lot of dancers are women, and so to be surrounded by like these strong, like powerful women that were accomplishing like really great things with their bodies, it's very inspiring. So I think that I love almost everything about sculpture. I love how intensely interactive it is, like you were saying before, you know, it's a process before it's even a process. And like building something into the space around you, it's, and my favorite thing I think though is the way that the viewer experiences the piece, and I think that that's what it is, it's an experience, you know, it shares a space with you. Like you walk around it, you can touch it, and you're probably not supposed to, but you can touch it. You know, the light bounces off of it in the same way the light bounces off of you, you know, I feel like it's easier for the viewer to connect to in that way. In like with two-dimensional work, I feel like you're bringing a viewer into that space, like you're creating a space that is separate from the space that the viewer is in, and you're trying to pull them into that. Which is actually the thing that I like to include depth in my two-dimensional work, because I feel like that pulls you in more to that environment or that atmosphere that you've created. And I definitely want to work like larger, because I feel like obviously the bigger it is, you know, the more like emulsifying it can be. I would say that the thing that I dislike about two-dimensional work is that I feel like it's harder to be original. As an artist, I seek individuality, and you know, I want to create my work and my concepts in a way that no one else does, and I think that that's harder to achieve in 2D, just because there's a lot that's already been done. And on the other hand, like with sculpture, there's so many possibilities. Like you can create sculpture out of literally anything, that I think that I sometimes don't like that, because then it's easy to feel stuck, like in trying to decide like, oh, what am I going to use to make this? Like what material is going to take it to the next level, and how am I going to apply that material to what I'm making? There's just like too many decisions there, and I think I get kind of stuck sometimes. So I remember when I was making Roots, which was my first life-size figure. It was also during the time when our classes were online, and so I was like, I didn't have my I wasn't working in a studio with other like students and a professor that would come around and be like, hey, like, you need to work on this part of it or whatever. And so it was really challenging for me to have to sit there by myself and figure out, like, okay, I want to create this, but how am I going to do it? Because it was something I had never even attempted before, and it was using a new material. I was using branches that I cut from, my parents live on, like, property where these gum trees shoot up like crazy, and my dad was like, take them all down. And so I had, like, cut a bunch of branches, and at first I think I tried tying them together, like, with string. I was like, yeah, I'll just tie them together and make them look like limbs. But then it had no internal strength, like, it wasn't going to hold itself up. So I figured out that, Brad nailing them together was much more efficient. I think that the chameleon, which is the latest painting I did, that I've completed, is probably my favorite that's going in the show. It, like I said earlier, I'm trying to, like, seek, like, individuality and, like, not a separation, but I want my work to look unique. I want it to look like, my work, and not for someone to say, oh, hey, this looks like so-and-so's work. And so I think I'm getting closer to that, like, originality, and, like, it's a concept that I think is unique to me. Yeah. Well, I hope that people come in and that they find maybe one piece, or maybe more than one piece, that they that reminds them of themselves in a way, or that they can connect to personally, or just people come in and find it visually pleasing, honestly. If someone comes in here and thinks it looks cool, that would be enough.